Hello, everyone. Welcome to Necropolis Hollywood, our Wraith the Oblivion chronicle. We've just started here at Restless Barbarian Gaming. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found us. Please be sure to give us a like on this video and subscribe so that we can continue to entertain you with our strange stories of horror and fantasy. Want to thank all our subscribers who have joined and have continued to watch and enjoy the videos. Thank you for following along with us, and tell your friends. Have them come and check out more of our stories here. Tonight is episode 2 of our story. We are going to go ahead and have our players introduce themselves, and then we're going to jump back into the story and just give you kind of a brief synopsis of what happened in episode 1. So let's start with Maura.
Hi, I'm Maura. I'm playing Natalia Calloway, who is now deceased pop star. Pretty famous. She went platinum.
Awesome. And Anad.
Hi, I'm Ned. I'll be playing Shaggy, who is was a metal drummer for the best band you never heard of called Supreme Burial. The name seems
Supreme Burial. Yes. have to come up with an album cover or something for them. So I assume it was one of those logos with like the logo you can't even it's completely illegible.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a font that can do that, so I'll see if I can come up with a band logo for you. And I happen to like bands like that too, so it's I got a joke about it.
That's good. I actually tried to randomly. The name just worked.
Exactly. All right. Last but not least, our friend Minty.
Hi everyone, I'm Minty Bow, and I'll be playing Terry Holtz, the also now dead folk singer.
Lots of dead musicians in Hollywood. Seems like it's like something's going around. I don't know.
It's like finding potatoes in Idaho. You can't turn the corner without seeing them.
Exactly. Well, as just to get folks caught up in our first episode, each of the characters fatally passed away in a car accident on Hollywood. On a Hollywood highway, California 170. It was a multi-car accident. None of the characters survived, but have not passed on to heaven or what they thought of as heaven, or possibly even what they thought of as hell. They just seem to be somewhere in between. They're not quite sure what that place is. A gentleman came by who looked like a bureaucrat of some sort, trying to help the three wayward souls, telling them a bit about kind of where they were, and it was kind of engaging with them. He was rather friendly. He wasn't obnoxious, although there was a group who worked with him who did seem very obnoxious. There was a gentleman in a black metal helmet with green stripes on it. And he had with him on a rather thick chain some sort of creature. They called it a bargeist. It seemed like it might have been human at one time, but it had been kind of morphed into some kind of hound type of thing. It seemed that perhaps this individual was there to help round up the characters and maybe lead them somewhere else. They were also at the same time met by a young woman who introduced herself as Sarah, who had told this gentleman, whose name was Mortimer Foley, by the way, told Mortimer that he was not welcome here in Hollywood. He should not be poaching the newly dead for his purposes. She said that Mortimer worked for some organization called the Emerald Legion, and the term the hierarchy was thrown around. Characters really didn't kind of get an idea of kind of what all that meant. They seemed to get a feeling that it was, some sort of government, but they kind of weren't sure exactly what that all meant. They did decide to leave with Sarah she took them down the on-ramp to the down to the streets of Hollywood, down to Lexington Avenue, which is in West Hollywood, to a familiar sight to some of them, but in the world that they seem to exist in, this is a world that's decaying and dying, perhaps all dead. They recognized a hotel that was called the Duchess, something they probably used to drive by all the time. Didn't pay it a second, notion. It was an older hotel. Here, it resembles more of a castle. It still has a twinkling neon sign at the top, but it seems to be spark out at times and just doesn't seem to hold the light all the time. But they did enter the hotel with Sarah and met a gentleman named Charlie who seemed to be a doorman of type, doorman/guardian. He seemed friendly enough. Perhaps maybe gave them a bit of information that maybe Sarah hadn't quite given to them. They were shown to separate rooms here in the hotel. They resemble the hotel resembles the structure as the real building in what they call the Skinlands, but on this side, everything is obviously crumbled. There's spots of mold in some rooms, but they do each have private rooms that they can access with oddly enough, an old-fashioned skeleton key made out of some black metal. They went into their rooms. They checked them out. Terry found something interesting in a closet. He found a coin, and this coin seemed to be manifesting or perhaps holding what seemed like a soul, possibly someone who had lived, possibly another ghost like them. It oddly creeped him out, as most people would find if they felt a coin started moaning and crying when moved. I believe he just kept that on him. And the group did get together in one of the rooms and kind of started to chat about what they had found. We are going to pick up with essentially the next day. Wraiths don't need to sleep, but I think they each kind of took their own little kind of private time to start to assess kind of where they have been in the past 24 hours. I mean, it's obviously a big, hey, I just died, but somehow I'm still around here. I'm still conscious. So it's going to be a long time till they probably figure everything out. They were told that they are supposed to be meeting with someone known as the Lady. All they know is that she is the leader of what's called Old Hollywood, which seems to be maybe a group of ghosts or wraiths, as you've heard them called. You guys seem to be forming a circle of sorts. You have one thing in common: you all died in the same accident. Now, what caused that accident? You don't know. Was it happenstance, as the gentleman Mortimer called it? Just basically shit happens? Or was there something else that might have caused it? Was it a planned accident? Was it murder? These are the things they don't know, and these things are things that might pop into their head as they attempt to rest, and even though they're called the Restless, ironically. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to pick up with each of the characters before they're supposed to be meeting with the Lady in one of the hotel's ballrooms, just to get an idea, kind of, now that they've had a little bit of time to think, kind of what's their thought process right now, kind of what's going on, what questions do they have, that kind of thing. So I'm going to have to pick on somebody. Let's pick on Mora and see what Natalia's kind of thinking about.
Natalia's going to be thinking Mostly about her daughter and
Okay.
that. Probably a little bit of her career, but mostly her daughter.
Okay. Which seems pretty natural. Will you ever see your daughter again? Does she know you're dead yet? All these things you don't know yet. Let's go to Shaggy next.
Okay. Well, Shaggy's been kind of pacing around his room and mostly kind of trying to absorb the fact that he's dead and kind of thinking about his band and his friends and how they're coping, and they probably haven't even heard unless it came up with the news. And also worrying about what to expect from all these people or wraiths, whatever they are.
Exactly. You don't even know who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
So far, they've How about Terry? How's Terry doing?
Terry is doing their absolute best to not leave themselves alone with their thoughts. Because if they do, they might end up becoming an actual screaming banshee. So they have occupied themselves by looking in the mirror and like poking at themselves to see. I should feel pain. I register pain. I don't feel pain. The fuck is this?
It's squishy. It's it almost seems like it could be malleable at some point, but it's not something you can do. I mean, you probably saw Beetlejuice or something like that, and the guy, stretched his face out.
They try to do it, but they just start going.
Exactly. and it doesn't stay. It's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they've each kind of had their individual moments. They arrive downstairs in the hotel. It's morning. Again, they do see remnants of life around them. There are faint colors, faint sounds all around them. They've had the unpleasant experience of people running through them and feeling this burst of life passing right through them, and it was generally pretty unpleasant for you and for the human who didn't know you were there and ran through you. But you wonder, is that something I can do all the time? Is there a way that can be used? You just don't know. I mean, it's all just so new to you. When you do arrive in the ballroom, there are a couple of people around who appear to be spirits, as yourselves are, but they move in and out of the ballroom. They move down the hallways. They don't interact with you. They either mutter to themselves or they don't speak at all. They seem to walk to one end of the hallway, open a door, step through, and then as you're waiting, maybe they might come out about 2 minutes later, and then they kind of repeat the path and go back. It's troubling because they don't seem to have any kind of consciousness that you have. They seem to be almost stuck in a pattern. And as you watch them, you get this slight chill, like, oh God, could that happen to me? Could I end up just stuck in this pattern of I can't find my way out of here? How do I avoid this? And that is when you are brought to meet a glitch in the matrix. That's right. You're brought in to meet someone known as the Lady. You see she is a blonde woman, but her hair almost kind of hides her kind of worn and tired face. If in the opening video if you had noticed there was a blonde woman who was kind of faded out, and then we kind of got closer to her, that's the lady. That's kind of what she looks like. She's sitting on a chair that you think maybe was maybe elaborate at some point, but now where any of the corners were on the chairs, like, you know, kind of holding up the legs, there's skulls on there now. So it looks like this is definitely a chair that was made for her, crafted in a certain way, and it's almost reminiscent of a throne. The only other person in the room is Sarah, who you had met previously. Again, she's about a 6 foot tall woman with shoulder length brown hair, and she is also in the opening video. She's that woman who's kind of standing on the street. So next time when you watch it, you'll see it. And you get an idea what she looks like. She doesn't really say anything to you as you come in. She just sort of gestures to the lady, and you can approach her if you like. She does look familiar to you, though. Just in a pop culture kind of way, she does look vaguely familiar. And if you like, you can make a roll. It would be probably intelligence and let's see.
Pop culture.
That's fair. Intelligence and we don't really have history in this game, unfortunately. Let's just go with intelligence and investigation, if you want to make a roll.
Why not?
You don't have to, though.
I have no idea who this is.
Okay, no idea. Okay,
I have one
Treasure.
success.
one success. Okay, she looks vaguely familiar, but you're not sure.
That's vaguely familiar.
Okay.
I think I got
Just know she has a sick chair.
What was that, Minty?
standard diff, right?
Yeah, 6. Yeah,
Right, that's 2.
2. Okay, you recognize her as she was probably you think she was on TV. She was the one in that show back in the 80s. I think she was like she was, you know, that guy's mother. But you're not quite sure. The name escapes you.
Terry's just, they're not taking the front this time. They're gonna see which the other two go for it, while they're like in the back,
Okay.
kind of with that thinking face of,
Yeah.
yes.
That's fine. You wanna let somebody else take the lead for a change? That's fine.
Mhm.
Shaggy steps forward and bows.
Okay.
Seems like
she-
the thing to do.
And she kind of nods to you. There is almost a medieval feel to the room. It's kind of odd in a way. The way they've kind of set up some drapes and some hanging items, and a lot of them are crumbling, some of them are faded, but you get the feeling it's almost like a throne room in a weird way. And she kind of just nods to each of you in turn. She says, "I'm glad you decided to join us. Sarah mentioned that you had recently joined us and perhaps had a run-in with some of the municipal authorities, we'll call them. Tell me your names. I'm not familiar with you."
Well, my name is Elias, but everybody can calls me Shaggy.
Shaggy. You don't follow a cartoon dog around, do you?
Not often.
Back in, it feels like a million years ago, I voiced a character or two for that particular series. That was a long time ago.
Neat. I'm Natalia Calloway. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you, sir? Looks over at Terry.
Oh, I'm Nova. Terry Holtz. Edge Service.
I know it comes as a shock. It did to all of us when you arrived here. I had expected to be burning in hell at this point, and maybe sometimes I think maybe I am in hell, but from what the religious types tell me, this isn't the final punishment. This is perhaps somewhere in between, because we all have something, some reason, something that holds us here. Perhaps it's unfinished work. Perhaps it's the fear of losing someone, or perhaps you're fondly remembered by a generation who adored your work and think of you often.
Well, brings a whole new meaning to the phrase "in memoriam."
It's true. It does.
Sure.
But there's a reason you're all here. And sadly, there's no escape. But I don't want you to despair. As hard as that sounds to believe, you can't give in to despair. Because that's when the darkness within you can rise up and destroy what's left of you. You've got to keep fighting. There's a reason you're here.
And what reason is that? Because as far as I know, lots of people died in that accident, and
It did.
that many of us here.
And there may be more still yet to come. It's not an instant crossover. Sometimes it takes some time for your soul to end up here.
We were just
And we will welcome as many as we can to shelter here until they find the place for them here. There could be a place that was important to you, a home, a workshop, that you may find solace from the storm in there. You do not have to remain here at the Duchess. You are not prisoners. But we would welcome you as allies should you need assistance. Straying outside of our small community here can be dangerous. As you've seen, hunters come in attempting to take what they think is theirs. We do not subscribe to their harsh bureaucracy of, given you died this way, that you must serve this lord or that lady. And forgive me, they do call me the lady. I am not a member of their hierarchy. I serve the Duchess itself as perhaps a guide to the lost, and sometimes can read the strands of fate, because again, it was fate that brought you here, and the strands of fate can be long and fickle, but eventually they can be cut and you're lost. So I will do my best to assist you in finding your place here. So you must have questions.
Oh, that is a question.
Maybe I can hear you. I'm not hearing you at all.
Yeah, you're
Um,
kind of faint, Minty. If
they
you
were
were
like
saying
whispering to
something.
themselves.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I'm sorry.
They're like, questions. Of course we got
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Who wouldn't have questions?
I'm sorry. Go
They're
ahead.
waiting for the others to see what they say.
Gotcha. Okay.
You said not to give in to despair because it would consume you.
can.
What would consuming despair look like? Like how would we know if we got to that point?
If it hasn't happened yet, you will hear a small voice that only you hear.
Wow.
Your own personal Jiminy Cricket, but not with a hopeful message.
Fun.
And we all have them.
Okay. Natalia, we'd better watch out for that guy. Sounds very dangerous.
Natalia's just gonna sigh heavily.
And the lady smiles and says, "You understand what I speak of."
Yeah. I might have encountered that now.
We all have them. And they start off small and weak. And they will offer to help you. But it's a devil's bargain. The stronger they become, the greater their need. They, in time, will seek to control you. And she kind of pauses for a second, and it's almost like she's listening to something, and she's like, and she just kind of shakes her head, like she's clearing her thoughts. I myself am not immune from what we call the shadow within us.
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
They can be subdued. They can be pacified. The stains that they put upon you can be partially cleaned, as we say. There are those among us who practice an old art that can work against the shadow, but not destroy it, not remove it at all. There's a group known as the Partners who can teach the art of I would call it more fighting the shadow.
Okay.
How do they do that?
They have arts that can call forth the shadow. While normally it is just within you, they can call it out. If you've ever seen those horrible schlocky movies of exorcisms and pulling forth the demon, and these are the arts that the Partners practice. They can pull forth the shadow, they can confront it. But again, everything comes at a price.
Of course. Naturally. Might I ask how long you've been here?
I perished in the 1990s.
Well, you
My
look good
name-
your age.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And she says, I've had some work done. In life, I was known as Julia Saunders. And you guys know she was a beloved star from TV who drank herself to death in solitude.
Is she an actual person?
No, I just made her up.
Okay.
There might be somebody named Julia Saunders.
I was about to say, I was like, hold up, tell me this ain't real.
You can look it up. I mean, I that's why I put the disclaimer at the beginning. This is, any resemblance to real names is is just coincidental. So I just have a name generator thing that I use.
I've heard of that name.
Mhm.
Interesting. Natalia's gonna look around at Shaggy and Terry.
So can we go back to our friends and family?
Contact with the living is, if you ask the hierarchy, the government of the dead, is absolutely forbidden. You were to have no contact with the living.
The hierarchy would be that Foley guy, right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. And he seems a friendly sort. I don't particularly have any issues with him. What you're going to find is most of them are just doing their job, they'll tell you.
Just
How many
following
people
orders?
did horrible shit just by doing their job?
It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, doesn't mean you have to like it, but they will tell you they were just doing their job.
And what do you say about contacting the living? Since you don't.
The hierarchy,
Separate.
honestly, are hypocrites. They each have the same as you and I. Things that tie us to the living world, family, friends, the memory, our memory of what we were. There are ways to contact the living. You will find there are ways to speak to them in dreams. You could, with enough force, you can make yourself even appear. Speak to them.
Is that where all the ghost stories come from?
There's some truth in them. But you must remember that in that interaction, you are now changing their life, and perhaps not for the best. Your beloved brother, who you haven't seen in 30 years, if you suddenly appear to him, you might give him a heart attack and kill him. But out of your selfish need to see him, to touch him, you interceded and caused him harm. And it's funny you mention ghost stories, because we've all seen the movie with the goofy men with the costumes and the laser guns to capturing ghosts.
Yes, Ghostbusters, I believe it's called.
Yes, Ghostbusters. That's not far from fiction any longer. There are humans who have interest in the afterlife, and some of them have sinister interest in the afterlife. We try to avoid their attention, not draw them in where they might attempt to capture us, or perhaps if they found out about our family, they might use our family, our friends, against us. That's why we say it's best to not interact with the living. But I'd be a liar if I said that every ghost doesn't try it.
As a treat.
Duly noted.
So now what? Do we just hang around here forever?
Eternity is a long time.
Eternity is a long time, yes. I would say follow your curiosity, as dangerous as an expression that is. There must be a reason why you're still here. And that you might want to keep guarded, because there are some who could use that against you, could find out what ties you to the living world. And those chains can be broken. If you lose all connection to the living world, what holds you here, you'll fall into darkness and be destroyed. Some welcome it. Some come here and fall into despair so quickly that they just give up all hope. And they beg for release. And some find the release of the void. And others find something darker.
Are those the ones in the wandering around in the entry hall?
Oh, no. Those are rather friendly compared to the shadow eaten, those who give in to their shadows, who let their shadows guide them. And they fall to darkness, become what we call specters. Mm-hmm. Whose sole purpose is to bring about the destruction of all of our kind and to drag everyone down into the void, which is a force we call Oblivion.
I might have missed it, but specters, shadows, what specifically are we called?
Some would say that your consciousness, someone call it the psyche, that what kind of guides you, and you have that shadow, that other side of the coin that is always there, is always seeking to gain an advantage. And if you can keep your shadow in control, you might find a way to survive here and perhaps even finish your business. Perhaps you have a family member, a child, who needs you. That would be a reason to keep going here, to protect them, make sure that they continue on, that they don't give in to their own despair, as I did.
Noted.
You will find what holds you here, what ties you here. Sometimes you have to go seek it out.
Not to break up this very enlightening, philosophical, and I guess not really philosophical, realistic description of what our life is here now. Sarah mentioned the other day that it ain't free to have a room here, and I'm betting that she don't just mean this building. If y'all are keeping them government folks out, I'm betting that means y'all lay claim to this area, and I'm betting money we gotta pay rent.
Is there money?
Yes, if you choose to stay here at the Duchess, you would be required to pitch in, shall we say, with security, with what we call upkeep of the Duchess. We like to think of the Duchess as more than a community, as a soul of its own. And I don't mean anything sinister. There is no Hotel California here where we are sacrificing children or women to some monstrous god. But we have built something strong here, something that has withstood the terrors of the night, which was held up against the mighty maelstroms that have blown through the underworld. It's precious to us. And all we would ask is, if you choose to stay here, that you do your part to help protect others.
Makes sense.
Right.
I also might have missed it if Sarah mentioned it, but what exactly are maelstroms?
They are almost emotional storms that are caused by terrible events in the living world. Events of mass death, of destruction, of sorrow. That emotional damage erupts in our world and creates a storm of hate and destruction that sweep through.
So
And-
something like the World Wars would count.
Exactly. The bombing of Hiroshima. So many souls lost at one time. World wars, yes, can cause a maelstrom. There are minor storms that blow through. There have been tragic events here in Los Angeles and across the country that do create minor storms that are still dangerous, but nothing to the magnitude of a maelstrom.
Good to know. So there's no way to predict when one's coming.
Sadly, no.
Fun.
And sadly, fools in the living world trigger them.
Like knowing what they're doing, or just by being an idiot?
Some of them know exactly what they're doing. There are those among the living who control strange magics, control the governments of the living. I'm not an expert, but I hear enough to know that the living cause enough damage to themselves that it trickles down to our world.
Great, wonderful, fantastic. This is really inspiring. So just not to recap the whole conversation, but just to make sure I got my Sparks notes written up. So we're dead.
You are.
I'm coming to that reality, all right? And we're here because something's keeping us here. And until we resolve whatever that is, move on. We're on borrowed time until we are forgotten, hunted down by people with a fucking Luigi vacuum pack, get swept up into Hurricane Katrina 2.0 here in the afterlife, or have some Men in Black mystical woo-woo Aleister Crowley do what thy will bullshit in the living world fucks us up. Not to mention the government fuck ups over there. Do I have a good picture of it?
I would say you do. You've caught on quickly, Terry.
Can we drink in this life?
Not really. There are ways to bring over. Yes, there are ways to bring over items from the living world, but there's really no alcohol here that I could share with you. Plus, you have no need to drink. You have no need to eat. You have no need to sleep.
Oh, I have a mighty need to drink right now. I also have a mighty need to jump out that window, but I'm already dead.
You can injure yourself in this world. You are not completely invulnerable. Your body, while it may feel slightly rubbery to the touch, can take damage. You can be injured. And there are weapons that are used by our kind that can cause permanent damage and can destroy you. Oh, I know, it just gets better and better, doesn't it?
I just kind of looked to Shaggy to see if, like, how is someone else taking this? Is Terry just going off the deep end already, or are they just par for the course right now? How is the rest of the group?
That's so strange. And
How is Shaggy doing?
it's kind of just staring at this and trying to absorb everything in close. But can we walk through walls? Is there anything we can do? You know?
You can, given time. Yes, you will learn how to do things like that. It can be a little unsettling at times, but yes, you will learn to be able to do that. There are many things you can learn to do. There are ancient arts that you can learn to communicate with each other, to move at great speed, to gain physical strength, to change your appearance. These are all arts that are taught by what are known as the guilds. They are organizations that were once outlawed by the hierarchy, but since the last maelstrom, they have blossomed in places. They can be sought out, but again, their work does not come free.
Understandable. Would they be around Los
They are.
Angeles? Or Los Angeles
They
or Las
are.
Vegas? I don't remember.
Some have set up shop in Hollywood. I am a member of a guild myself. We are known as the Oracles. We read the fates.
Very much Greek mythology there.
I've adopted the title Lady. I am not the Lady of Fate, as she is known, but the wonderful residents here of the Duchess dubbed me the Lady. I guess it's just a title I've gotten used to hearing. I don't think myself to be better than anyone, though.
So what does being an oracle mean? Does that mean you can foretell our futures and our fates?
It can be done, yes.
So can you read my palm? How's that work?
And she kind of smiles. She's like, "Are you sure you want to know? Or would you rather find out a little more on your own?"
I found out a lot on my own. I freaking prefer to know now.
As an actor, sometimes we do read to the end of the script to just find out what happens. And sometimes we find out our character got killed off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope I'm not one of those. Well, I guess I already got killed off.
Yeah, she can. She can do that. Let me take a look here. While I'm looking that up, does anybody else have any other questions for her?
I think I asked my questions.
Okay. Oh, let's see. How do I find the Arcanoi in here?
Which one?
Specters. Okay. Sorry. Let me just use the index here. What specifically does Shaggy want to know?
He wants to know, like, what's the next steps are.
Okay.
How he can get back to his people.
Okay. Yeah, she uses. Her biggest things are fatalism and life web. Life web is where you can see your connections to your fetters and those kinds of things. But she can. Oh, let's see now. Oh, you lied. This isn't the right page. Okay. Tell you what. She'll do that. Maybe she needs some time to prepare. So does the storyteller.
Okay.
So she will set up some time with you to essentially read your strings of fate. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So, all right. I'm trying to get my head wrapped around this. So, I don't know exactly what could be holding me here. Like, sure, I had things I wanted, but I didn't think I wanted to the point of, oh, hey, heavenly afterlife or forever damnation in hell. I'm gonna put a pause on you and live this kind of like Danny Phantom bullshit out fantasy for a minute.
She smiles but has no clue who that is. So.
Right. What was it, Ghosts?
I wish I could tell you that this could be undone or could be avoided, but you're here.
Well, shit. 1 second, my cat is trying to break down my door.
You do, what I would start with is, first, you do all share a common fate. That ties you together. That can give you a common strength if you choose to stay together. There is no rule that says you must stay together, although trying to go solo in this world is generally a bad idea. It is good to have friends, someone watching your back.
Friends are good.
Yes,
Don't
they
much
are.
fancy the idea of going off by myself.
Terry just leans back and looks at Shaggy's back. You have a piece of asphalt stuck in your shoulder.
Oh, thanks.
Actually, she
If I
can.
could put
Okay, so let me ask Shaggy a question, or Shaggy's player. Are you looking for? There's a couple things she can do. She can look to see if your destiny has been altered, as in, were you supposed to die this way, or were you supposed to end up here, or did something happen which caused you to have a different outcome? Or she can, the Oracle delves deeper into fate's designs for other beings and objects. The resulting visions are snapshots of what will occur without outsider intervention. This is called reading the bones. So, are you trying to see, if I don't do anything, what's going to happen to me?
I think I'd like to know if my fate's been altered.
Okay. All right. Let me roll for her then. Okay. Let's see. See how she did. Just looking deeply at you for a moment. I don't sense that there was some kind of betrayal, some kind of way that your destiny was altered. That, as best I can tell, you were meant to perish in that car accident.
Oh, so there's not even somebody to blame. That kind of sucks.
Well, there might be someone to blame. All car accidents start for some reason, and any good lawyer will tell you someone's always at fault.
Maybe we should all just go and haunt that Tesla driver.
Tesla driver? Did I know? No,
Yes.
I don't. I was in the limo.
There was this asshole Tesla driver who seems to have caused everything.
Of course it's a Tesla driver.
Yeah, of course.
We're just haunting with general principles for being Tesla drivers.
Haunt all the Tesla drivers in Los Angeles.
Were they a negligent driver?
Yes.
Negligent, drunk, high, stupid. Any of them?
All of them.
Probably all four. Mostly all four.
Potentially, it's Los Angeles. I just tried to find a sober driver out of 10.
Then perhaps their presence on the road at the exact moment you were there was meant to be.
Fate kind of sucks.
It does. It is a fickle bitch.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Sorry, I have to step away for a moment. I'll be back.
Okay.
Terry's just kind of like thinking to themselves about it. Let's so. Well, him may not apply to us, but I'm just going to make the general assumption that we're all meant to be here. There was no grand conspiracy to send us three specifically here. If it was, I'd be mighty impressed. But, I guess life just ain't that fun. I guess
Yes.
next.
Well,
And she just sort of waits to see what other questions you might have.
Terry immediately looks to Natalia. I bet you money, if it was to be a conspiracy, it'd be that bitch Tasha they just signed. Do not tell me that some just out of the blue Russian pop star comes along and then all of a sudden, like, several people of the label are dead. I think not.
that would be quite a plan. Is Shaggy part of the label, or was he independent?
I don't think so. I don't remember if he was part of the label.
Okay.
We'll check back with him when he comes in. I suspect he was. I thought it was kind of a cheesy way to, I hate to say cheesy way to link all you guys together, but it works.
Cheesy,
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be quite a plan if that was the case.
I mean, it could be a label that has all, what was the name of Supreme Burial or something like that? I gotta write that down to come up with their logo.
Pop singer and country singer,
Yeah.
Country folk, all the same. Oh, that's right.
folk singer.
Supreme Burial. Okay.
But alright, so what's in here? Alright. God, you there, God? Hi, hello. I once stole a dime off my mama's bedroom counter when I was 5. Back when I could buy a pack of gum in the middle of nowhere for 10 cents. I don't know where that happened. I paid it back as a quarter a week later, so I paid back with interest. So if this is about that, I'm not hung up on that. We can stop that.
If I have to wager, I guess it's not about the dime gum pack.
Do you think you led a wrathful life, Terry? Do you have things you're ashamed of?
Doesn't everybody have things they're ashamed of?
We do, yes. Is that something holding you here, though? Perhaps is there something you did wrong that you feel that if there was a chance to go back and right that wrong?
I didn't invest in Bitcoin.
She says, I have no idea what that is, but it sounds like it wasn't a good choice.
Yeah.
Shaggy, or Nanad, is Shaggy have the same record company as the other two players? I can't remember if we said that or not.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a record company at all. They're
Okay. I couldn't remember if they had that tie or not. So.
No.
I mean, two of the record. It has merit.
Where did that cat come from?
Terry just pulls it out of the ether, just like this is my comfort animal. I don't know where they came from. They just claimed me, and now I have to do this every now and then, or they scratch at my legs.
She is basically, I don't want to say done with you. If you have no further questions, she's around. She will try to answer what she can, and seems to have other business to take care of. The hotel, like I said, it's getting a little bit busier in the lobby. You do see some people, some living people kind of coming and going. You can't quite hear what they're saying. It's again, they're like shadows in front of you. Excuse me, not shadows. Sources of light moving around you. But you've started to almost learn to kind of step around them, because you've kind of had that unpleasant feeling of stepping through someone. So.
Now, Shaggy's thinking quite a lot about his band and how they're coping. Now, I actually have the Lifebug Arcanus.
Okay.
Arcanus.
Yep.
Which I think will actually allow me to sense where it is. Can I use it? Can I try to use it like continuously?
Yeah, let me find
Well,
the
I
life
don't know
orb
how.
in here. Let's see, what do you have first of all? You
I have life web 3.
Oh, okay. We will play that as you are learning how to use it. You're not totally, you just don't go, oh, I know how to, know how to do this. But let me find.
No more. He's kind of thinking about them and wondering how they are and so on, which I'm thinking might trigger.
Yeah. Let me monitors. Here we go. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So level 1 is vibrations in the web, where you can focus on your fetters, kind of getting a feeling where they are. I'm sorry. Sense strands is where you active intuitive awareness of your fetters locations. And then there was level 2. Oh, that's level 1. Level 2 strand channel can extend your presence to a fetter. Movement in the web. You wouldn't really know how to do any of this yet, because you have level 3. You're technically can do splice strand. You don't know how to do any of that. So I would say if you're going to do anything, let me look at your fetters real quick. So your band really as a collective. Are you saying you have a tie to each member?
No, it's more like as the collective. So if they kind of break up as a band, then I'll use my fetter.
Okay. You have your childhood home, the frolic room, your drum kit, my room at the squat. Okay. Yeah. So what I would say is you would be able to, on a successful roll, you would almost sense, hey, I feel that connection. Like what she was saying, that I'll find what means to me. You go, oh shit. I know I need to go 4 blocks this way, 2 blocks this way, and with enough successes, you find your fetter. But I would say with maybe like 2 successes, you're able to sense kind of like the direction of one of your fetters.
Okay, well, so what's the role? Is it spend pathos?
It is, I believe so, but let me get back to it. So we're doing sense strands. Okay, actually, for this, it technically says once the Wraith learns this art, she always knows where her fetters are. But what I would like you to do this first time is to roll your perception and your life web.
Perception, life web.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'd say difficulty 6.
Success, that's not too bad. Zero successes. I have no idea.
Okay. You don't have a clue. Okay.
How did I roll?
Nice try. Too bad you're not a hot shot like that lady. Don't worry. You'll learn better.
And everybody looks at Shaggy like, what's wrong?
Good. Everybody just need to go to the bathroom. They don't like us, he walks away with, hang on a second, can't do that to kiss anymore.
Okay. How about our other folks? Once they've left, what would they like to do? I can throw some options at you if you'd like. It's what I had kind of written down as options is if you wanted to check out where the car accident was, you could go back up there, or you can wander around the hotel a little bit, or you can kind of walk some of the streets around the hotel. Those are some options for you guys. So
I personally would want to go back and look at the spot of the accident,
Okay.
and then probably wander around the streets for a little bit because I
Okay.
don't want to go back to the moldy curtain
That's
room.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, really, that room was just a place to start off with, so you don't have to go back there. So okay. So Natalia wants to go check out the accident scene.
Yeah. Well, Shaggy still wants to get back to his people. How far away are we from where I live?
Where? Well, let me ask a question. Where is the frolic room? Is it? It's in Hollywood.
Well, I'm specifically about the squad where they live, which probably be nearby, which is in Colwood, and it's kind of like more on the outskirts.
Oh, okay.
Like the rundown
Okay.
area. So I don't know how far. I don't have an idea of how it
You
at
would
all.
have to either walk there, because you haven't learned if there's transportation to things like that. You could figure out eventually how to jump into a car, and try to ride there, but typically you need a passenger to ride. So, but you don't know any of that yet. So yeah, so you'd
Are
have
there
to hoof
buses
it there. So
in Hollywood?
yeah,
Are
yeah.
there?
So you're in West Hollywood.
So he could try to step on a bus.
Um,
I don't know what'll happen, but he can try.
yeah, you could try it. It's when it starts to move, you might have a problem because then you might slip out. Yeah. And that is that's a way of learning. Is he goes, hey, I just followed these people onto the bus. Some people get a cold shiver, and the bus starts moving,
Yeah.
and I fall out. And then you found out how you can walk through walls because you fell through one and land on the street,
Yeah.
outside the Duchess. So
Yeah. Anyway,
Charlie,
but,
the
see
doorman, is gonna watch you. He's like, son, you gotta figure out how to ride somebody first.
So how do you do that?
He's like, well, not supposed to teach you this, but there's some folks called the puppeteers. They can teach you how to do how to ride people.
Well, so where do I find them? I assume they don't have a website.
He's like, you can ask around. He's like, I can't say with a wink that I know where they are. There's some guilds that aren't quite as acceptable as others, so they tend to move around a little bit. But I'm sure you could find somebody who could find them for you.
I'll look around. Thanks. Okay, well, that. Do I see Natalia going towards the thing, or have you already left?
No.
Or do you sit there and watch me try?
No. Let's say
say
Shaggy was so discombobulated by his shadow talking to him that he was just like, hey, let me follow these people onto the bus, and then fell out and fell on his face. So then he sees Terry and Natalia just kind of staring at him as he's laying face down. Sticks his head up. Yeah, sticks his head up to talk to Charlie. So,
Are you all right there?
I guess so. When I'm actually being dead, no, I don't think I get Grable. I can kind of pick out. I don't get Grable in my face because.
Yeah, you might have some kind of ghost rocks, kind of some. Outside, there is a breeze blowing. It is not a pleasant breeze. It is a today. It's kind of a warmer breeze, but it's almost like there's things in the breeze. Some days a breeze might kick up, leaves that are fallen and some things like that. Here, it's some odd things in the breeze. Old newspapers. Bits of fleshy mass. You're not quite sure. There's kind of icky goo kind of flies by and lands next to Terry. Yeah, it's just not real pleasant stuff in the air.
Fun. I would avoid that.
God, I've seen a roadkill that was roses compared to that. Jesus.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So the
alright.
three of you are going to then go up to the accident site.
Where
Yeah.
you guys going?
Okay.
Let's see.
You walk up there. Along the sidewalk, you do come across one or two of those wraiths who just kind of move in a pattern. One appears to may have been a homeless person in the past, and you see them kind of stopping at every trash can, and they kind of go up the block, and maybe they turn. One of them is looking at. Is just kind of looking at the living, kind of walking around, and they just kind of spin in circles, just kind of watching the world they can't touch move around them.
Those people, yeah.
You get to the on ramp. You walk up, cars roaring past you that don't see you. You stick to the obviously to the side of the road. When you get up to the road, you do see off to the side what looks like still some cars there that are off to the side. And hey, thank you. Thanks for joining. So, you do see there are some cars there. They've been kind of pulled over to the side. They look burned. They're not drivable, but they yep. But they're on your side basically of the shroud.
Okay, I'm actually on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see my motorbike?
Give me a wits and investigation, please.
Yes, and I also want to try and look for the Tesla.
Oh yeah. I tried to look for the Tesla too. Now that I know it was a Tesla.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
One success to 1-1, so they just cancel it out.
Okay. Anybody else want to give it a shot?
Well, that's looking for the
7, 6,
motorbike.
and a
I don't know
5.
You got 5?
Yeah,
7, 6, and a 5. So it's 2
Oh,
successes.
7, 6, and a 5. Okay. So that'd be 3 successes. Yeah, you do see a Tesla logo on one of the cars.
Okay, I'm gonna point that out to the others, and I'm gonna go towards it.
Okay. When you get there, you see inside the inside where the passenger driver would have been. You see some kind of filmy substance, almost like a cloth, has been like shed and kind of is laying on the passenger seat. And when you look at it, you're like, ew, that's maybe like that crap that was on me. Like when I oh my God, that is that what that stuff looked like? It was like a film or
Oh yeah.
something all over me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy didn't make it then.
I'm surprised anybody would have made it from that shit.
That looks like the stuff that was on me when I woke up.
It's torn.
I think they're still here.
Yeah.
Very possible. Is the Tesla on this side of the shroud or on the other side of the shroud?
It's on this side, yeah. And there are a couple other cars there, but this Tesla is kind of like the first in line. So,
is there anything in the glove compartment? I'll go and check it out.
You're able to kind of open it up. You just see like crumbling papers. You pull it out. and where there normally would be like the insurance card and all that. It's just like paper that just like disintegrates as you touch it. It's not anything that you're able to read. It just like it's come through. It was burned in a fire on the other side, and then when it's been touched, it just crumbles.
Is my limo still around?
It is not.
Fun.
There's 5 cars here. The limo is not there. If think of them almost as like lined up. The Tesla is first. There is a van. About 2 cars back. There is a white van. And what was Shaggy driving?
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle. Okay, you do not see the motorcycle now.
Does Terry recognize the van?
It is. It does. He does recognize, and it is his van.
Immediately, just both middle fingers out towards that driver's seat. Look, I'm all for people want to smoke, but when you are fucking driving, I just see a blunt in your fucking hand.
Terry,
if I didn't know that man was dead, I'd be going after.
Terry, am I correct in guessing that van is what you were in?
Perhaps.
We should play poker sometimes, Terry.
No, because we have one coin between us, and they'll like fish it out of their pocket, and it's very. I don't know if that's like a whale or a saw.
Could be both.
Pat the coin and put it back. Wait, hold up. We found this film shit in this car.
Yeah.
I know there's at least going to be one in the van. What about the rest of the cars?
Well, if you look at them, it might be more of.
You can look in the van, Terry, if you'd like to.
I already know how this is going to go, so sure. Let's do it. Listen, not Schadenfreude. What is it? Like a Call of the Void, except I'm in the void and I'm looking out. Hi, the void would like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
If you if you look in the van, you do see a similar substance, a similar cloth kind of object that's been torn similarly. And it's familiar to Terry.
And there's only one?
It's just the one, yeah.
Alright. So I was the only one out of this one. Let's check the next car.
Okay. There's total 5 cars, so we'll see. Check the Tesla. The second car, nothing in there. The van, you found yours. And then the 4th and 5th cards, nothing. So
Fun.
yeah. So they burned up on the other side and then came through. And then now are just basically just wrecks, just sitting on the side of the road here.
I wonder why all the cars didn't come through and only these 5.
Maybe they have to be completely destroyed.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, my limo was sheared in half. I don't imagine your bike survived.
Actually, it's probably. Bike itself probably did survive because I was thrown off, so. Bike might be fine.
Now you could dodge into traffic if you wanted to scout down the other side of the road, or because again there are just cars just zipping by. So
Anyone
they don't
want
see anything. So
to go to the other side of to the road?
Yeah. You can. How does the Wraith get to the other side of the road? Carefully. So.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Actually, no. I'm just going to try and run through the cars. I've learned the hard way that I can't pass through cars.
It is going to be difficult. It is going to be Dex and Athletics, difficulty 8.
have Dex? Do I have
I have
athletics? I have 1.
0 athletics.
All right.
Once again, I fail.
You know what? Let's see how this goes.
Maybe we just stop rolling for it because remember
I was
last
gonna
night
say,
I was
just
rolling
stop rolling.
terribly as well.
Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Okay, that's 2 successes.
Okay. You manage to dodge one lane of traffic. You get through another, and you leap out of the third lane to get to the side of the road. And peering down, you think you see some kind of crumbled mess way down, probably about a quarter of a mile down.
I'm shouting across the road. What do you see?
See anything?
I kind of run in, kind of try to get my memory to just end up.
I'm gonna go find the
right.
crosswalk and cross when the light goes.
Is this a
Well,
highway?
this is a highway, so there you'd have to
This
go.
is the highway.
This is a highway. So there's 3 active lanes. You have to. It's really a 6-lane road, but on this side, there's 3 lanes. You gotta get across. So
Terry just kind of like looks, squints her eyes. There's something. Shh. What the hell is that?
do you want to go down closer and take a look?
They're gonna like hold their fist up, kind of like so they can keep track of them in between the blur of all the cars and just start going.
Okay.
Is the way to get around the highway? Or?
I'll start moving around, not across the highway, but down the way that Terry's going. Just so
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can stay on the side of. You could stay on this side of the road and be able to walk down there and be able to look across at what he's heading towards. So he chose to go across the road. You guys could continue, but you wouldn't have known it was there until he got on that side of the road to see it. So
yeah.
But now that he's kind of got his arm up in the air, yeah, you could kind of follow him down the road. Terry, you get down there and there is some kind of crumbled metal object that might have been a motorcycle. It is like twisted up like a pretzel almost, and it just looks like it was burned beyond recognition. The only way you could tell it was a motorcycle is you can see that there was a spot where there were 2 wheels. But it is torn and mangled. But it might be Shaggy's bike, you don't know.
They'll like look for anything identifying, like license plate, color, half burnt, like emblem or something on there that could identify it.
Give me I hate to always use the same thing, but wits and investigation, please.
Sure can do, bestie. And as they're going, Terry's kind of yelling back.
And diff 7 on this one, so.
Oh Lord. Alright, wits investigation. I got this.
Is there a way to get points in investigation?
I don't got this.
XP, you can spend points.
Okay.
And you guys would have 3 points from the first game, and you'll probably get 3 points from this game. So, yeah, I forgot to mention last week your XP, but
oh, good.
Yeah. So after tonight, you'll have 6 points, and you could spend some points put in investigation. So,
Okay.
yeah. No, the license plate is it's mangled. I mean, you really can't even make out what it says. So.
They're just calling out. I mean, it was a bike. Pretty sure bike's supposed to have 2 wheels. You heard of unicycles. This is a no-no cycle.
Yeah, Shaggy, I mean, you can, as cars are going by, you can kind of look and you're like, well, it's a motorcycle, but I can't tell if it's mine or not.
It's probably is mine, but anyway, sometimes you can do anything with it anyway.
There's nothing you can do with it at this point, so.
Alright, so they kind of look back, they're kind of realizing, shit, I gotta go through all those cars again.
I was just thinking about
To
that.
delay that,
You gotta play Frogger again. So.
They're gonna see if they can find a way to like break off a part, like a gear, a handlebar, a mirror, like fuzzy dice, just something to bring over, and maybe Shaggy will like it, maybe not.
Okay. Yeah. Not even gonna make you make a strength roll or anything. You can just like break off a piece of it. Yeah. it'd be something you could bring over to him.
They'll break off like the handlebar with the throttle on it,
Okay.
because that seems more pertinent.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
see
that's fair.
Terry struggling for a second. Just how are you a dead bot? It's still Strode, and then they just ass over end on the side.
Careful.
You, I'll let you get this one free this time. You just you get maybe clipped in the butt just a little bit and kind of tossed to the side. No damage. You managed to land successfully, but you found that way you can interact. That you can get hit by a car.
They just kind of like holding it, looking at the road, just kind of shaking a little bit.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Careful now.
Cars are bad. Cars are bad.
Cars
Cars
are definitely bad. Cars are the reason we're here.
All right.
Yes.
If you would like, Shaggy, now that you're holding this piece, if you would like to try to make your life web roll again,
Okay.
now that maybe you have something that might help.
I'm seeing, man. I know the way my rolls can be going. I'm kind of scared to make rolls.
And it's going to be perception plus life web. So
Okay.
difficulty, we'll go with 6 this time.
This time I got a whole whooping 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, this is definitely from your bike, but you're not sure. Like, hey, this is a piece of me essentially, and something is holding me here, but I don't know which direction to go.
I can sense it's there, but I don't know where it is.
Right. Okay. 3 wraiths on the side of the road. It's kind of like the hitchhiking ghosts, So.
Terry's
Maybe
just like
try that.
looking down, trying to see if they got a chunk taken out of their body at some point, because it.
You don't. You manage to avoid damage. It hurt. You're not invulnerable, but it you're like, okay, what's it? Any accident I can walk away from is a good one, or whatever that expression is. So okay.
All right. So I'm not doing that shit again today.
Yep.
No.
I'm not doing that shit. All right, what did we learn?
But you did find the Tesla, and there might have been somebody like you who had been in it, and
Let's keep an ask.
might have survived. Well, survived as you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not have died too badly.
Well,
Maybe the.
I want to go
need to
see if
pick
I
it
can
up?
find a newspaper.
What's that?
What?
I want to go see if I can find a newspaper.
Okay. You'd have to go back down to the street. And yeah, there's newspaper boxes and things like that. You'd have to
Can
find a
read it?
way to read it. Now,
So,
there are TVs, there's radios, things like that, that you could, excuse me, that you could be able to hear depending on the level of the shroud and things. But you could you could try to find the newspaper, and if somebody's buying a newspaper, you might be able to try to peer over their shoulder, and with a successful roll, maybe be able to read something.
I will try that and
Okay.
try to listen for a TV or radio.
Okay. Yeah, the Duchess has a bar in it that has TVs in there. You've seen some people in there early in the morning, having a Bloody Mary or a mimosa. There's a TV playing in there. Like I said, there's newspapers. Newspapers are probably a little harder to be able to read it. So, unless you're able to pass through the shroud, which none of you can do. So,
Okay.
Terry will look up at the TVs just to kind of see what they can see out of it.
Okay. You hear they're giving the the weather and all that kind of shit, but then they do talk about this fatal accident, fatal car pileup that occurred on the previous day, and that it was on California 170. And they mentioned that there were 12 fatalities, with at least 13 other people taken to hospitals, and that the state police are investigating the cause. They believe it was a drunk driver. And they haven't released the all of the names yet, because they're still pending contacting people's families.
I guess that's us.
Well, how many pileups can one highway have in a day?
Especially that one that big?
Mhm.
Probably not.
And they would mention, like, what exit it was near, and you guys would know, oh, hey, that's that, that's the spot. So
So we know it's Tesla. We know someone who was in the Tesla
Yeah.
is now one of us.
It was on the passenger side, wasn't it? Not the driver's side?
well, it looks like it may have been pulled off and dropped on the passenger
Okay, so
side.
it would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So at least one person who was in that vehicle is on our side. Now, whether they are going to show up with the Duchess anytime soon, or if Mr. Morty Man convinced him to go over there, I don't fucking know. But
Mortimer Foley.
I got an
I
idea.
do want to find this person.
You don't?
Well, I'm wondering what do we do if we do find him?
I don't
He's
know.
already dead.
Maybe that's what's keeping us here. I don't know. You heard the lady. Like, something's keeping
That's
you here. You find your peace, all that. Maybe it's something to do with how we died. I don't know.
I
Might
mean,
be.
possibly, yeah.
Or,
Could
and
be dimes from how many years ago?
I have a heartfelt confession, and I'm never going to hear about the end of it till I go down to this Oblivion thing. Am I? All right. But a
Okay.
different idea came to my mind. So, us three, I'm assuming, are the first ones out of there that popped over. First in that
Yeah.
Tesla is now also over here.
Maybe they just took longer to drive.
Well, who's to say they're going to be the last one to pop over here, man? Hell,
That's true.
we know everybody who died in that accident, and then
Well,
they
yeah.
or people who like them start popping up over here. That Tesla driver is going to be up shit creek if they find them. But if we find them first, I'm not suggesting unsavory things, but if we find them first, at least get some answers, maybe get a little peace. Offer to just forget they are over here. Anyone ask us about them, we don't know them. And if they don't cooperate, well, I'm sure there's plenty of folks that would love to know where their incidental killer is, and that they hear.
Hey, Shaggy,
That's true.
could you give me another wits and investigation roll, please? You might have noticed something.
Okay, because all my rolls have gone so well, but let's see.
Well, yeah. Let's just give it another shot.
Nothing.
Someone's holding it back, you like 2 inches away from Terry. It's like, Air's
Yeah.
talking.
Okay. I was going to try to point something out to you, but because you have the best dice pool, I think, for wits and investigation.
It's only 4 dice, but I don't think anybody else has. I just have
That's true.
wits
That's
4,
true. You don't have investigation,
No.
and Terry is still 4 dice. So,
Could I try to perceive something?
Yeah, let's...
Perceive the men in black staring at us.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you give me a perception? Give me a perception roll. I think you
Okay.
got 4 dice in that.
Yeah. A 7, a 4, another 7, and a 9.
Okay, so that's 3.
Successes, nice.
Okay. You feel like there's something else here, something we didn't look at. And you take a step back and you can make out there is still a license plate on the car. It didn't burn up for whatever reason. You don't know if it's fate, if it's luck, but you're like, I can make out that license plate. And it's a California plate. You can get the the license plate number.
Okay. I will make a mental note of it, and
Okay.
I wish I had a
Yeah.
notepad.
Let's see, what do you got? But you do have pneumosis, which I don't even know if I'm pronouncing
Yeah,
that right.
no, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, that is with memory. Here, let's see what that can do. Gives the Wraith conscious control of his memories by... Okay. You have, I think you have Mnemosis or Mnemosis 1. Keys to the Memory Palace. This enables him to recall even the most trivial details that evaded his conscious notice at the time he formed the memory. So, what you can roll is your intelligence plus your pneumosis, or we'll figure out how you say that word. So,
Okay.
so for you, that would be 4 dice.
4 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a 2, a 4, an 8, and a 7.
Okay, so you got a 8 and a 7. Okay, so that's at least 2 successes. I'll say you're able to memorize that license plate,
Yay.
and you're just like, wait, I don't remember being able to do that. They always had to write down the lyrics for me, and this you're just like, boom, that is stored away. I know that license plate number.
Okay. Yay.
So that might help you figure out who the driver was.
If only we had computers.
Well, storyteller can't give you everything. You're gonna have to work for some things.
Why, God?
Yeah.
While that moment's been happening, Terry's just been trying to casually mention the idea of extortion and or blackmailing.
Yeah.
All right, so look, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad.
Mhm.
Just look, they fucked up. They're the reason we're here. So a little recompensation in some format, even if it's just, hey, give us some more information about what the fuck you did, so we can at least, maybe move on, get a little closer to that. At least get some clarification, like, hey, is that even part of the problem for us? I think that's very much a good deal for them. I think that's a bargain.
I agree. I think maybe we should just ask around. Like, I'm sure somebody's seen something.
Right.
Are there any other wraiths around?
Natalie?
Not here on the street, but you can check back at the Duchess. Lots of options for you. You
Terry's
could go
probably
wandering the
ask
streets of Hollywood and see who you run into.
There's
good.
there's that Mortimer guy.
Mhm.
And they had that. The word escapes me, but that human hellhound type thing.
Mm-hmm. The
They might have,
Bargeist.
yes, the Bargeist. They might have intercepted something.
Now
They
they
tell
would
us.
be found. They would be found further in Los Angeles itself, in hierarchy territory. So you'd basically have to leave your territory to be able to track down this Mortimer.
Maybe we should ask Charlie and see if he knows. Seems to know what's going on out here.
Okay. Yeah, you can check with Charlie if you like. So you
Okay,
back
I'll
to the Duchess.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the way, Terry just kind of looks at Natalia for a second. Hey, sister, you good? You had one of those staring into the 1,000 yards kind of look for a second.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just it's a lot to take in.
Don't I know it?
You
Yeah.
get to the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna be like, yeah.
You get to the front door of the Duchess. Charlie hasn't seen anybody new come in. He's like, you guys are the only 3 new ones in the last day or so. Friend of yours or something you're looking for?
Kind of the opposite. The guy who caused the accident that killed us.
Oh shit. Keep an eye out if anybody comes in. I'll let you guys know, but so far we haven't had anybody new in a while, so
Okay. How often do new people come here?
it just depends on when people cross over and end up here. We get lots of deaths in Hollywood. Not everybody chooses to stay with us. It's been I'd say it's been a couple of weeks since anybody's been here. Some folks decide to just set out on their own to find out, where they belong, what happened to them. But so far, you guys are the only recent ones.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. So we're going to wrap up fairly soon, but I want to see if there's any other questions or anything you guys want to do first.
As Terry's kind of thinking, they're just thinking about it. Did Natalia ever mention anything about what they saw?
No.
Alright. Terry's just kind of thinking about it, thinking about the news report. Alright, so if I'm getting this right, stuff is keeping us here. And if that bozo is here too, he didn't get the grand lecture over here, but he might know what he's up to. Or know what's keeping him, maybe. Or at least what's comfortable. We don't know nothing about him.
Might not even be a him.
Or her. Or them. Apologies. Well, in any case, we don't know anything about it. Son of a bitch.
What?
I got an idea. Y'all ever wanted to break into a police station?
Where's the nearest police station from here?
I'd say a couple blocks. There's probably a local precinct. So I could look up a Hollywood map and figure it out. I'm just gonna say it's a couple blocks. Let's just keep it simple. So yeah.
I mean, that could be a start.
Yeah, because it's probably an investigation. During the police report, during the report, did they say which police stations had an investigation?
I mean,
They had said that California State Troopers had handled the actual wrecks, but the local Hollywood police are also involved with the investigation.
I suppose they mentioned the investigating officer.
They did not mention that on TV. No.
it most likely would be the closest one because that was the closest one to the wreck.
If we can get in,
go there, we might be able to see some of their paperwork because they're probably actively investigating right now because it's still new.
Okay.
If we can get names, cross-reference them, who's dead, who's here, who's not. We can go process elimination and find that son of a bitch. Or
Natalia does have some information as well.
I will mention that when it becomes relevant.
Of course you will. She's not showing all her cards yet. That's absolutely fine.
As far as I know, it's nothing.
That's absolutely fine. So, okay. Okay. I think that's probably a good point to wrap up for the evening. So we have a plan for the next
Just
episode.
break into the police station.
Yeah, is infiltrate the police station and see what you can find out. That sounds awesome. How you guys feel so far?
Good.
Good.
I'm excited.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Anybody have anything going on they want to plug, mention? How was? Did you meet Matthew Mercer?
I did. It went really well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a sold out show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah.
We will we'll be back again, not next Thursday because that's Thanksgiving here in the U.S., but we are going to be back again on, and Tom has to get the calendar out, that would be the 30th, back at 8 p.m. For episode 3 of Necropolis Hollywood. I want to thank everybody who's joined us tonight, and if you haven't already given us a like to this video, please go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. We want to keep telling great stories for everybody. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up, and we will see you again about 2 weeks. So good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Okay.
Bye.